This is LGR, London Greek Radio.
Κατέβασε τη δωρεάν εφαρμογή του London Greek Radio από το App Store για iOS και Google Play για Android και συντονίσου. London Greek Radio 103,3 μας φέρνει πιο κοντά.
Christmas is one of the most important moments of the year for family, tradition and of course food. But in recent years what we put on the festive table in Britain has been slowly changing, with more households now catering for different dietary choices, including vegan ones. Questions are being raised about tradition, health, the environment and inclusion. Joining me today is Damian Watson from the Vegan Society to talk about how Christmas eating habits are evolving and what this means for families here in the UK. Good morning, Damian. Thank you for joining us on LGR.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Happy Christmas to you and to you.
Thank you so much, Damian. Now, Christmas has always been closely tied to food traditions. From your perspective, Damian, how are festive eating habits changing?
Well, you know, traditions change as the years go by. I think in the UK everybody associates Christmas with turkey. But that hasn't always been the case. Turkey has only been the tradition, so to speak, since about 1950, since the post-war period. Prior to that, the most common meat that was eaten at Christmas in the UK was goose. So things do change, excuse me, and I think turkey consumption is going down slightly in the UK at the moment, so things are changing. But that said, there will still be 10 million turkeys killed for Christmas consumption this year, so that's still an awful lot. And of course, the vegan lifestyle has become increasingly popular over recent years. We did a survey at the Vegan Society, which was published earlier this year, which told us, and this was a huge sample size of people, it told us that 3%, or around 2 million people in the British population, is now following either a vegan or a plant-based diet. So it's changing. Traditions change as the years go by, and as far as we're concerned at the Vegan Society, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Is this something you're seeing across different communities, Damian? Because we do see this change in Greeks as well. I don't know about other communities.
I'm not really sure about that. That's an interesting question. Our survey it was a huge survey of more than 10,000 people, and it covered geographical regions in the UK. So, for example, London leads the way with veganism, and Wales and the East Midlands were lagging slightly behind in terms of people following plant-based diets. In terms of ethnic communities, I'm not really sure what the answer to that question is. Excuse me. I have a croaky throat today. But I know that traditionally, I used to live in Palmer's Green in North London, so and that's an area, of course, with a large Greek population. So I know that the Greek diet, traditionally, we talk about tradition, has always been quite meat heavy.
Absolutely.
And I think veganism is probably a hard sell for me on London Greek Radio. But, you know, there are lots of good reasons to go vegan. It's about animal welfare, but it's also about health, about personal health, and about environmental health, too. There are lots of good reasons. I'm happy to go into those if you'd like to.
Oh, yes, I would love a few, because it's nice to hear. And to surprise you, we do see these changes among the Greeks as well. So I'm sure you are very pleased to hear this. So it's encouraging. This conversation we are having today, it's really encouraging and helpful as well. So thank you. Yes, please carry on.
Oh, well, good. Okay. Well, first of all, people tend to go vegan for ethical reasons, because they don't want to consume, kill, and use animals. It's for animal welfare primarily. But also it can be for environmental reasons, because the way our food system operates around the world with the livestock farming industry, it's very inefficient. It uses a lot of land to grow crops that are then fed to animals that are then eaten or used by people. If we weren't eating and using those animals, then we could be growing plants and crops that people can consume directly. And that could be far more efficient in terms of the use of land, but also better for people, because there's a lot of evidence to show that a plant-based diet is really, really good for you. You can get a lot of your vitamins, all the vitamins and nutrients that you need from a plant-based diet. That has to be varied, it has to be balanced, it has to be healthy. We're talking here fruit and vegetables, we're talking beans, pulses, legumes. Get all your protein, bags of protein from that, the calcium that you need, all the nutrition that you need. Our website, vegansociety.com, is there to help people who want to find out more about this kind of food. And people who are considering going vegan or turning plant-based should have a good look at that, because there's a lot of misinformation around that you can't live off a plant-based diet alone. Well, we're talking now. I'm proving that you can. I'm 56 years old. I have been vegan for 10 years, and I was a vegetarian for many, many years before that. I haven't eaten meat since I was 18 years old, so it's nearly 40 years. I recently had one of those over 50s well man checkups with a doctor, with a nurse, who took all my vitals, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, heart rate, everything. Put me on a walking machine and took my heartbeat, etc., etc. And I passed with flying colours.
Wow.
And then the nurse said to me afterwards, "You're in really good condition. Low cholesterol, low blood pressure, or normal blood pressure. Everything was within the range that it should have been." And I said, "Yeah, I'm vegan. I follow a vegan diet. That's why I have low cholesterol. I'm not eating animal fats, which are very, very high in the kind of cholesterol that we don't need in the UK." Now, here in the UK, the government published some research earlier this year, the National Diet and Nutrition Survey, which is a massive survey, and it covered the period 2019 to 2023. So it's a huge survey. It takes a long time to publish, which is why it took 2 years. And it showed that so few of us are getting our 5 a day. The old government health promotion, get your 5 a day of fruit and veg. 5 portions a day, we're not getting them. 17% of adults get their 5 a day. Only 9% of children get their recommended 5 a day. The government knows that we are not eating enough fruit, veg, pulses, legumes, beans, etc., etc. We need to eat more, and we're not doing that. So we at the Vegan Society, we're here to help people who want to make that transition to live a healthier life that benefits the planet and also benefits animals.
And Damian, also the Vegan Society has highlighted potential savings to the NHS if diets were more plant-based.
Yes.
You did a research, I think, about this. And, if people are healthier, of course, then the pocket of NHS can be much better, which, of course, we are paying for it.
Well, absolutely right. Yeah, that's the long and short of it is, if we were healthier, the NHS wouldn't be so busy and it wouldn't cost the taxpayers so much money. There's a lot of evidence to show that obesity in the UK is becoming a real problem, and a lot of obesity is down to diet, of course. Not always, but a lot of it can be down to diet. So transition to a plant-based diet can help in living a healthier lifestyle. It has to be coupled with sensible exercise and everything as well. That's a given. But yes, our research showed that if everybody went vegan overnight, we would save the NHS £6.7 billion per year.
Wow,
now, we know that not everybody is going to go vegan overnight, obviously. We know that. But it's going to save the NHS, let's do the maths, is it £10,000 per person per year in the UK who goes vegan? Because they're not using the NHS as much. Excuse me. Vegans are generally healthier and fitter than non-vegans. And so look, there's an economic cost to this as well. But you have to eat a healthy diet.
Yes.
There's a lot of focus on ultra-processed foods. Now, some vegan food can be ultra-processed, but so can some meat. and some dairy food very often is ultra-processed. We recommend a healthy, balanced diet. Lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, pulses, etc., etc. Now, it's Christmas. So if you want to have a treat on Christmas Day and you're a vegan, then by all means get a plant-based roast, a tofurkey, something like that, which is obviously processed, but that's fine. It's like a meat eater saying, well, I'm going to go out on Saturday night and I'm going to have a ribeye steak. We wouldn't want that, of course, at the Vegan Society, but if someone's going to do that, then that's a treat for them. And we look at the ultra-processed foods, the vegan burgers and sausages and the vegan tofurkey roast at Christmas. We look at those as a treat, which we have alongside the healthy stuff, the plants and fruit and veg. It has to be about balance. Yes. It has to be about common sense.
So for listeners at Damon who may never have experienced one, a Christmas meal, what does a modern vegan Christmas meal actually look like in practice? I know you've mentioned turkey. I think you can have all these, but in vegan, yes?
Well, yeah. Sorry, I beg your pardon. The website, the vegansociety.com website, has a load of recipes that are really good for Christmas. Things like carrot soup with vegetable crisps. This one might appeal. A vegan mincemeat baklava. Excuse me. Smoky beetroot tart, all kinds of things. In my house, we're a vegan family, so my wife and we have 2 grown-up children who are coming here for Christmas. They arrived today. We will probably have a mushroom Wellington. My wife has refined this recipe over the years, and it's a delicious mushroom Wellington with chestnuts and all kinds of different mushrooms and onions, and all coated in a lovely vegan pastry. But most of our Christmas dinner is going to be vegan anyway. So the roast potatoes, all the vegetables, that's vegan. You don't have to fry them or roast them in beef fat. You can do that in olive oil. Delicious. And then maybe for dessert, Christmas pudding or Christmas cake or mince pies. All of those can be vegan, and they're just as, if not more delicious as the non-vegan alternatives. And you can get vegan creams now, plant-based creams, plant-based ice cream, all kinds of things. So most of my Christmas dinner will be the same as a non-vegan's Christmas dinner. I just won't have any meat.
Damon, for those who are not ready to change everything, what is one's more realistic step they could take this Christmas?
Well, certainly in January, there is Veganuary, which is a month that is aimed at people who are considering going vegan and want to give it a try. So we recommend people get involved with Veganuary and give it a try for a month. But there's been an increasing move towards what we call flexitarianism, not just in the UK, but around the world in recent years. And that's where people say, right, okay, I'm not quite ready to go fully vegan yet, but I'm going to cut out meat and fish and dairy from my diet, maybe during the week, and maybe at the weekend I will eat what I always eat, and give it a try. And what we're finding is that people do that, and they realize actually being vegan is easy, and it's healthy, and you start to feel better doing it, not just in terms of your physical well-being, but your mental health as well. Because, deep down, most people know that the animal livestock industry is on an industrial scale. We kill and use billions of animals per year. Most people don't want to do that.
Yes.
Really. Most people are animal lovers. They don't want animal cruelty. So people tend to feel better in their own mental health when they give up meat and dairy from their diet. And we at the Vegan Society would love it if everybody went vegan tomorrow or in the immediate short term. We know that isn't going to happen. So if we can encourage people to give it a try, hopefully they'll like it and hopefully they'll turn vegan.
And a vegan plate can look very colorful as well.
Oh, yeah.
Very attractive, I think. And you can still do all your decorations and nice presentations for a nice vegan option meal. And also in restaurants now, I think most of the restaurants you can get a vegan option menu, which is really good. It's helping a lot.
Yes, absolutely. It used to be the case when I first went vegan 10 years ago, as I say. But it was quite hard to find vegan food in restaurants. But now it's so easy. It's very, very unusual to go to either a high street restaurant or hopefully a local family restaurant as well and not find a vegan option. So, veganism is becoming much more widespread, much more normal. People don't say to me anymore, "Oh, you're a vegan, that's weird." It isn't anymore. It's becoming accepted, and that's great from our point of view.
Yes, actually, now they are asking you, if they invite you at the house, they do ask you, are you a vegan or do you have any dietary, preferences, etc. Yeah. So it's good. As you said, it's changing slowly. You can see that it's acceptable now to be a vegan.
Yes, absolutely. It's become normalized.
Yes,
that's a good thing as far as we're concerned.
Even within the Greek community,
Yeah, well, I'm glad, and I love Greek food. I really do. I had a lovely holiday in Greece last year, and all the olives and things, and the fruit and vegetables that grow fresh in Greece. It's wonderful. But you make a really good point there about the acceptance of the vegan diet. This is really important at Christmas as well, because we talked at the beginning about traditions and how traditions are changing. What's really important, if you're a vegan and you're going to a non-vegan home for Christmas dinner, then it's really important that you have a chat with the host or the chef before you go, just to make sure that they're aware of what your requirements. Exactly. And that you're aware of theirs as well, to mutual respect. And Christmas is a time for being together with family and with friends. And the last thing that we want is somebody falling out over food, dietary differences. So it's really important to communicate with each other. A lot of non-vegans don't understand either that it's not just about food. It can be about drink as well. And a lot of wines and beers are not vegan, because of the finings that are used in the production process. They can be derived from animals or from fish. It's increasingly common now that wines and beers will be vegan, but it's always best to check. Look for the vegan trademark on your wines and beers and all kinds of products, not just food, but cosmetics and things like that. The sunflower logo, that vegan trademark is a guarantee that what you're buying and consuming is authentically vegan, certified vegan. And it's really easy to find things that are wines and beers that are vegan these days. So that's something that's worth thinking about.
Exactly.
Chocolates as well.
Chocolates as well.
Really nice. Yeah, absolutely. Really good chocolate isn't milk chocolate. The really chocolate aficionados will know this. The proper chocolate's dark chocolate, which doesn't have any milk in it anyway, cow's milk. But, you can make really nice chocolate with coconut milk and with plant-based milk. So there's so much choice out there now.
Exactly. So, Damian, could you tell us the Vegan Society website if someone wants to pay a visit and find more information?
Yeah, there is loads of information about nutrition, about recipes, about the ethics of veganism and the rights of vegans. All kinds of things at vegansociety.com. And if you'd like to send us an email while you're there at the website, then we'd be delighted to hear from you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Damian Watson from the Vegan Society. Thank you for joining us today. As we've heard, Christmas food traditions are changing for many households, but the focus remains the same: family, generosity, and togetherness. Whether plant-based or not, the conversation itself reflects how our society continues to evolve. Thank you, Damian. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on. Merry Christmas to you and to your listeners.
Thank you, Damian. Thank you.
This is LGR, London Greek Radio.
Ο αγαπημένος σου ελληνικός σταθμός στα social media. Ακολούθησέ μας στο Instagram και στο TikTok, βρες μας στο Twitter και κάνε like στη σελίδα μας στο Facebook London Greek Radio.